Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much for joining today. Welcome back if you are a subscriber. If you're not, welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about career seekers or people who are currently in a career that actually want to become a entrepreneur. So I want to give you about 5 tips that I have come up with. I know when I was transitioning from, I'll say first, the mindset of just being a career focused individual to an entrepreneur, there were some things that I kind of did that I don't want you guys to do. And also, there were some good things that I actually did. So I just want to give you some tips on just making that transition if you do plan to do that. So I do have, again, my handy dandy notebook that I like to keep right on the side of me when I'm doing these videos. So I am going to be looking down just to tell you that. But tip number 1, do not quit your job. Oh my goodness. So a lot of you know that I am a certified entrepreneur and career coach. And so one of the things that I have come across, especially just coming out of 2020, everybody was like, you know what? I'm not going back to work. I'm going to start my business and I'm going to do that. That's just what I'm going to do. And that's fine, right? But there are some benefits for just staying in your 9 to 5. For instance, you can get training. That's right. You can get training from your job, especially if you work for the state or the federal government. They're always giving trainings. So you can take those things that you learn, and you can implement them just in your mindset. So that just takes away from one thing that you actually have to pay money for to invest in your business. So definitely keep that 9 to 5. One of the other things is, if you have health insurance, if you have really great health insurance with your company that you're at, stay for right now until you can actually get to the point as a entrepreneur where you're actually paying for those things, because that is very important, guys. Okay, your health is very important, and so you don't want to just say, okay, you get excited and you're passionate about it, because there are levels to going into entrepreneurship, and it's just not about making money, but you have to be disciplined. I mean, and I'm going to get into that a little bit, so that I'm going to stop right there. Okay, so tip number 2 is write out your vision plan, right? Write out your vision plan. So what that means is you need to have some type of direction. You need to know where you're going in your business. What is your business about, and things of that sort. Basically a SMART goal plan. you know is it feasible? Is this something that you're just passionate about, that it just popped up in your head, or is this something that you just love to do, but you can't really do it running as a business? I don't know, but my thing is write it out. And I believe when you actually write it out on paper, you'll be able to visually see where it can go, and I believe it can go somewhere. Okay, write the vision, make it plain. That's Habakkuk chapter 2. Okay, and then number 3 is you got to know what your why is. What's going to motivate you? Let me tell you guys, let me get real with you. You're going At some point in your business, you're going to feel discontentment, right? You're going to feel like, okay, maybe this isn't for me. You're going to feel like, you're stuck. And that's just the process of it all. That happens. It happens. It could happen at the beginning, at the middle, or maybe even, at the hiatus of you being an entrepreneur of your company. It could happen. That's one thing about running a business. Everything is not going to be perfect. Everything is not going to be, you know, ta-da. Sometimes you're going to hit some hurdles that you're just going to have to just, jump over, but you got to keep going. So you got to know what your why is. So for instance, when I started my business, my why was I was coming out of working just in investigation, right? And I worked with lawyers, I've worked with all types of people, And one of the things I learned in um, from that particular company was you're going to work with all types of people, and you got to know how to put certain hats on. You got to multitask. You got to know how to speak. You got to know how to just to keep yourself safe in a type of um, position I held, I had to make sure that I was well aware of my surroundings, what was going on, etc., etc., etc. And so one of the reasons why I started my business is because I noticed that a lot of people did not have direction. The ones that I was working with, they didn't have direction. They lacked something. It's not because it was their fault. It was just, some people have outside sources, outside things that happen to them in their lives. And so that was one of the reasons that I just had so much, I believe, zeal to just help people that couldn't really help themselves, right? Because by nature, I am a server. I love helping people. I love being that neat person. So, my company, Latte Resume Consulting, what I do is I help people get to their ultimate career goal. No matter what they tell me they want to do, if they tell me they want to be president of the United States of America, we're going to work together to get to that goal. And so just again, going back to don't quit your job, that was one of the things I learned coming, doing my 9 to 5 was, I had so much training on just goals and planning and helping people get to where they needed to be. I was able to take those things I learned and actually implement them not only in my personal life, but in my day-to-day life and even in my business. So that's what I'm saying. Like going back to number one, don't you quit that job, right? And you also need to know what your why is, why you're doing it, because there are going to be some times that you're just going to be so like frustrated, maybe even overwhelmed in your business. And that's okay, because again, it's part of the process, but you got to have something that's going to be able to bring you back, right? All right. And then number 4 is what's your story? So yeah, there's that thing of what's your why you're doing it, but then what's your story? So, one of the things with me is when I first started my business, I had a vision plan. I had different things that I wanted to do. I had tasks that I had and all those type of things. But that's part of my story. So those hurdles that I went over, the books that I've put out, the people that I work with, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, it's all necessary. It's all part of your brand. What is your brand? Because I'm gonna tell you this: people do not buy brands. It's how you make them feel. You are your brand. You represent your company, right? You represent it. So how you present yourself, how you dress, right? How you look, how you smell, all of these things, it comes all together and it represents what you bring. It represents your brand. So be careful with that, right? So tell your story. Tell your story. People want to hear. They want to, but behind the smile and the clothes and all these great things, they want to know authentically, who are you? And lastly, accountability. Now, I will be the first to say, now, some people don't need accountability. I think, in my opinion, I think everybody needs accountability at one term of their life, whether it's in your business, whether you're, in your career, whether you're parenting, whether you're getting married, whatever. There's some kind of accountability, right? They do this even in high school. This is why tests are given to students, right? Because it's a shared responsibility. It's a shared accountability from teacher to student to student to teacher. So it's the same thing with running your business. Who's keeping you accountable? Who are you seeking help from? Who are you seeking resources? Who are you partnering with? All of those things matter, because this is one thing that I've learned just in general in life. You become who you are surrounded with, your environment. So you got to make sure you're surrounded around the right people that believe in what you're doing, that's going to help you stay on track, and that's going to tell you the truth. So, with me, I coach entrepreneurs, I coach also career seekers as well. And so that's one of the things that I do in my business. I help people stay on track. I keep them accountable, and they also hold me accountable as well, because when they're paying for a service, it in turn, right? It in turn influences me, motivates me to push even further with them, right? And the same goes for them. If they're investing their time, their ears, they're listening to me, right? Their money, they're investing in their business. Guess what? Guess what? They're going to do what needs to be done so that they can move forward in their business. So accountability is so, so important. So guys, I hope that you found these tips helpful. These are just some of the things that I have went through in my business. And I will say, I made some mistakes. I did some really great things in my business as well. And it's just all part of my story. It's all part of the process. But I also had an accountability partner, that came through family, that came through a coach, that came through my pastor, and even just me, just holding my own self accountable, right? So again, thank you so much. How do you get in touch with me? If you want to reach out to me personally, I love to hear back from people. You can email me at lrc@consultant.com, lrc@consultant.com. If you would like to book a consultation, whether you're a new entrepreneur or you're a career seeker, I help career seekers get to their ultimate career goal no matter where you are in your career. And I also help entrepreneurs, new entrepreneurs, with their startup. So if you need help with building your website, if you need help trying to figure out which entity to choose, or just business ideas, or how to get funding, this is what I help entrepreneurs with, new entrepreneurs with. So guys, I hope again that you've enjoyed. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.